All right, guys, how's it going? Chris here. Sorry about the delay getting on. I had a little bit of issue finding my connection to my external mic. So I hope the audio is coming through okay. Yeah, just coming on live. Wanted to chat to you guys about recent travels to Japan, where it was just an absolute blast out there with all the crew. Of course, Kevin, Snowboard Pro Camp, Board Archive, David Jones, Andreas, Bo, Yannick and Rav, and met Casey and Daily, who does the Overstoked. Super psyched to have his sticker on my board, and of course Board Archive there, and then also just came back from Stevens Pass as well. So first time for me riding in Washington. It was actually my first time riding since Japan, which was about a week ago, coming from that, and I just smashed, like nailed my knee. You know, one of those ones you remember. Just nailed it on a tube. And I had like two bumps on my knee, right, my kneecap, and then another bump after, like one of those instant like hematomas. But then I iced it down, and then I managed to ride the rest of the day. But maybe the flying didn't help with the pressure. But coming back, like I just had this like, a hard lump where it's not even it's not like a bruise. It's like a solid. It feels like an extra bit of bone just sitting below my kneecap. And I just gave that time to heal. So that was good. And then I had a great time in Stevens Pass. Knee felt really good. We had like awesome snow. We timed it to get a big dump where there's over a foot, maybe 14 inches. And yeah, that was great. Got to like hit some drops, like awesome powder shots, exploring this new mountain, which my expectations weren't, anywhere in particular, but I was blown away by it. It was really cool. Got all the things that you'd expect in terms of really good well, maybe it doesn't have parking. That's probably the one thing it doesn't have, but it has a great beginner terrain, awesome trees, like insanely, probably steepest trees I've ever ridden in my life. Some of them off the, if you guys know it, you go down the Double Diamond run. It's called Double Diamond. And we hugged a little bit left, and just it's insanely steep trees. Yeah, it's really, really cool. And then some cool shoots and some nice little pillow drops. Some nice hikes, saw some dudes filming some backcountry, some kickers out there. So yeah, it was really cool. Oh yeah, and then just to mention too, if you guys are new here, feel free to like and subscribe. And this is a super chat as well, if you guys want to throw some super chats out there. Greatly appreciated for sure. That definitely helps me do all of this. I wouldn't be able to do this without you guys. So yeah, Stevens Pass was you guys present to me, and that was awesome. I'm just gonna jump into some of these comments here. Glad to have everybody out. Feel free to smash that like button, of course. On 6 at the moment, we get that thing moving up a little bit. L Stacker's here, of course, dude, saying cannonball that like button. Jordy Phillips here. Oh, dude, Jordy, awesome. Glad to have you out here. Okay, I'm back. I don't know what is going on there. Let me leave this thing off. Hopefully everybody's still here. Let's just call it technical issues. And it was the wrong number. Anyway, then my internet cut out. I don't know, it was like, this is the internet fighting back. That's how they get you. They send a signal through your phone that disconnects your internet. Yeah, so just jumping back in, Junior's here. It's awesome, Jose. Dude, awesome hanging out with Jose in Japan with L Stacker and Chuck, and of course everybody else that we met out there. That was a killer trip, man. I'm still thinking about that Japan trip like every day. Everybody's saying hi to each other, of course. Chris Heinrich is here, dude. Pleasure. LY saying, is that the T-Rice Pro board? Which T-Rice is that? That's last year's T-Rice Pro HP. Yeah, she served me really well. Of course, it's a twin. It's got that C2 profile. It's kind of like a medium, like a 6 out of 10 flex. And I find it's been great everywhere. Minus like super deep powder, but in the park it's been really good. Groomers, trees, yeah, even hitting like little drops and through some, like 6-inch powder. 6-inch, like a foot is about the maximum doing that. Anything deeper doesn't work so well. Engen's here. Pleasure to have Engen out here. Chris Walker saying favorite part of Stevens Pass? Question mark. I learned on that mountain and it's my favorite resort. So we did have, basically the first day that we went out there, we went straight to the backside and we were like straight into just deep powder, like over a foot. It was just as people were getting out there, so there's a few tracks around, but just like I love charging and like open areas on a powder day. That's definitely one of my favorite things. So like not super steep, but like wide open, powder everywhere, and just bombing down and getting loads of face shots in 1 second. Okay, yeah, so that was really good. The like insane steep trees were cool, but I don't know, just maybe like the overall, like going somewhere new. I've after going to Japan, like had a taste of new resorts, and I want more. And so yeah, just going to new resorts, seeing like all the parts of the new resorts and riding though. They got some like the fun. They don't quite have the pizza box chair that they have. That's the famous one in Hanazono, which is the single seater chair where there's like no guards on it at all, so you're basically like almost free to fall off. They have a two-seater equivalent of that, so the bar's in between you, and then you like barely have anything to sit on, and you kind of go up like hugging the pole, basically. That stuff like that, I find that stuff interesting for sure. All right. Jordy's saying, Chris, you remember me from Niseko, Japan? Yeah, dude. You're, yeah, so Jordy, he's getting homeschooled and just like riding all day. Like in Japan, he's, how old are you? Like 12? But the last 5 years, he's been living in Japan and getting a ride every day, which is, dude, you're living the snowboarder's dream right there. Yeah, so it was a pleasure to meet you, and good luck with all the riding and everything out in Japan. Wuta saying, what's up? Guys, it's game time. All Stacker represent. All right, got a super chat here coming out, just saying from NGen, shout out to the DWCP crew. That's me pretending to be cool. Yeah, shout out to all you guys. You guys are definitely core of this channel and the whole like online the YouTube snowboard community. So props to all y'all. Chris was saying, I of course went down to my bachelor for the week. You and Kevin came to Stevens Pass. Go figure. It was there was no planning. It was real last minute. So yeah, I wish you could have given you guys a bit more of a heads up. The stream. Oh, I'm on the lag. Okay, let me catch up. I'll catch up on these. Hopefully, I've kind of figured it out. Yep, Kev's trying to kill the stream. In Japan, which powderboard did you enjoy the most? Did you ride the Orca? I loved my Orca. Yeah, I rode the Orca on like a hard pack. It was on a groomer day, so I didn't get a great feel for the Orca, but it was awesome in the Crusty Powder and Carvin. That was super fun. But I think my favorite one was riding the Gentum Stick XY, which I got for like a really good powder day in Risutsu, which is kind of mellow steepness, tree runs. It's got insane float. You can, it's like such a fast board. The Gentum guys do like crazy, make crazy fast bases. It's insane. Anyway, yeah, so that's probably my favorite one for sure. Jose Bautista throwing the $5 super chat. Dude, thanks, man. Yeah, I hope you're doing well. You obviously had El Stecker over, which is another awesome thing about the online snowboard community, where you have two guys living separate sides of the country that didn't know each other, and now they're meeting up and going on snowboard missions and becoming friends, and you know, it's really, really cool. Scott Barley saying, has a TRS Pro in the deep pad as ride as you expected? What size do you ride? So this is a 161.5 wide. I'm the moment like 210. So you know, pretty big dude. 6'3", not that, you know, it should go by weight over height. And I ride size 11s, but they're the Burton imprint reduction, so they ride like a 10. So this sport is great for carving around. It's, you know, it's nice and wide, but still in the powder being the wide, I'm still 161.5. Lots of surface area, so really good float. And yeah, I might just set it back a little bit on the deep powder days, but I noticed if it's over 30 centimeters, like over a foot, it starts to struggle. So I normally ride the Jones Storm Chaser, which is super nosed out, super stunted swallowtail. So all of the board is in the front of the board and the tail's like tiny. So that thing just naturally wants to float, and it's also really good for going around trees and stuff like that. So that's really good, but that board isn't good, let's say, if you're riding down a volcano in Japan, because there the snow will go from being powder, as you're doing your turn across the mountain, it'll go powder, hard, crusty, ice, and then you turn back, and then does the reverse. And so obviously, you know, you try to stay in a good area. but because it is not much tail, it's not as stable. It's like flat to rocker, so it doesn't quite have as much feel from it, and it wasn't good for that. So Alpine, Storm Chaser, not good. Trees, awesome. So maybe I need to get a new all mountain powder board. All right, just having a little look. Yeah, Hellstuck is saying, send money to the Wi-Fi fund. Yeah, guys, send me money for some new internet, please. El was saying, you said that North American PAL feels different from Japan. How different does it feel? So at least like here in the Pacific Northwest, up in Whistler, our snow is a bit heavier. And I know like the more west you go, you get that lighter kind of champagne powder. But I would say that Japan is just really almost like next level, like champagne blower snow, where you don't even, like, it's so light, you don't really feel it until you can't breathe. But you can just lay in like not even a hard turn going super fast, and then the snow is just gonna fly up in front of you. Like you don't have to really lay in to do like a massive slash powder turn. It's really any turn, if you're going fast, just ends up with this 10-foot high wall of snow. And that's the only time I've worn a snorkel snowboarding, and it worked. I did a few laps without the snorkel, and a couple of times I did stop just so I could clear all the snow that was in my mouth, because it was affecting my breathing a little bit. And brought the snorkel on. I used to do a lot of scuba diving, so I'm very, very at home with a snorkel in my mouth. And cruised down, did loads of powder shots, loads of face shots, and the snorkel killed it. Heady Full Melt said Stevens used to have the best park until Vail bought them. I don't know if you guys saw the lineup from Vail Mountain this past weekend. If you guys haven't seen that, don't leave this stream, of course, to go see it. But it is insane. It's like new amusement at Disneyland kind of long. Jason Lemon saying watching from the Philippines, but from Vancouver. Awesome, man. Sweet. How's the Philippines going? I was in the Philippines for a couple months in southern Leyte, and somewhere else. That was 18 years ago, so that was a long time ago. But yeah, no, Philippines is sweet. Eric H saying, hey Chris, I'm going to be in Whistler for this weekend. Hoping to get to see you on the mountain if your knee isn't too sore. Yeah, I'll be riding come this weekend. Actually, no, sorry. I will be riding at some points. But yeah, we'll see. We'll kind of see what happens this weekend. I got my parents are coming back, and it's my mom's birthday, so I'll be down in the city for a little bit as well. Gippy Lion saying I broken a vertebrae on a large jump on the 4th of January. Dang, dude. The day before, I boarded the Liptech Orca with the Falcor. Sad. That is a sad story. Dude, I hope you have a speedy recovery for sure. I feel your pain. I mean, I've never done that, but I did have a lateral shift in my T12L1 in my back, and that still bugs me to this day a little bit. So I'm always, a lot of times when I'm doing stretching and rehab, it's because of that injury specifically, rather than all the other injuries I got and feeling sore. Effective Edge saying, have you seen the graphic for the Liptech Orca 2021? Less ugly than the 2020, but not as beautiful as the 2019. Well, step in the right direction, I guess. I haven't seen it though, so. Battery saying, bring Andreas. Yeah, I got to see Andreas. Not seen him for a couple of days. He's, getting back into the swing of things. He had 2 weeks off in Japan with us, and I know he loved it. It's totally his type of riding. So, yeah, it's always fun going back to work after you've had a couple weeks off doing like your favorite ever holiday. Colin Duff is saying, get a nitro cannon and have that be your thing. Yeah, a nitro cannon would be pretty sweet. My only issue maybe with the nitro cannon is it's so big that if you're on kind of that, like, when you're on that really steep, nasty alpine stuff and you're either trying to like make a chute, and the snow is just a bit undulating and nasty, it might be a little bit less maneuverable. But for sure, like just cruising fast in the Alpine and like powder bowls, man, hitting some like deep powder shoots and yeah, obviously in powder. Yeah, that'd be sweet. Yeah, the if you don't know, the Nitro Cannon Big Pink is 203 centimeters, I think. It's big. LY saying the Orca maybe for the All Mountain paddleboard. Yeah, dude. Been watching. You know, Kevin has the opportunity to ride lots of other boards, and he doesn't. He just rides the Orca, so that says something for the Orca for sure. Chris Moore saying, "Hey Chris, love the Japan washing video. It's been forever since I was able to ride a snowboard in any good powder. Just hoping, praying to snow somewhere when we go from Texas. Yeah, it's a little bit of I guess sometimes, which is a bummer, but yeah, hopefully it works out for you. Absence makes the heart grow fonder, so, you know, always be holding on. It's going to happen, and when it does, you're going to appreciate it that much more. Rob Grams is here. Dude, good to have you out here, Rob. LY saying the circle thing is it is a thing. Yeah, it's although when I showed it to Casey, he's like, dude, that you're the first guy I've ever seen riding with a snorkel, but he's loving it. I did like an Instagram post where I did a big powder slash without the snorkel, and then I like shoot out with the snorkel. Oh no, that was actually my video. So not the smoothest of editings, but a nice little transition to shooting with the snorkel. Vladimir Angeli saying, how was the day when you were hanging out and riding with Casey? Yeah, so that day, it's kind of interesting because basically we're in Japan on Hanazono, which is part of the Niseko United. And we go to the top of the mountain, we hike out of the gate, and basically you kind of have this area that's perpendicular to the resort. And it kind of runs, you know, like you go up the chairs, boom, boom, boom. And then you hike out a little bit this way. And then there's just this whole area is kind of rideable. And there's like, depending on how far, you know, you go across, usually there's less people. But because there was so many people in the crew, we hit like, I think in total, there's maybe like 11 or 12 of us all like in this one massive group. We couldn't all like ride together because the areas are quite technical, and you know, you don't want to be the 12th person because you're never going to get any fresh turns. So it would kind of split off into like splinter groups. So there'd be like a group of 2 or a group of 3 or 4, and people would break off, and then they'd ride down in certain areas, and then we'd all meet up at the bottom and kind of get overstoked, super stoked, overstoked, psychos, super psyched. Yeah, and just kind of chat to each other, and then we'd hike out. It would be about a 20-minute hike back to the resort, and then depending what you wanted to do, you could actually hike up another like 10 to 15 minutes to the chair, or you could ride down, but then you have to take up 2 extra chairs because there's like one kind of normal length chair and then one really, really short chair, and then you take up a 3rd chair, and then you take up the infamous pizza box. So by doing that extra hike, you'd actually save yourself some time. But those days, like, we were hiking about as much as it's probably equally spent hiking, riding lifts, and snowboarding, those 3 things. So it was tiring, but the snowboarding, like, turn for turn was the best anywhere in Japan. But I just thought getting back to that Rizutsu has more like flow to it. All right. Red's kept saying he didn't know that I'd been in the film. Yeah, I was 18 at the time. We did one of those volunteer programs, and it was really cool. I like the Philippines. I want to go back. I do a lot of diving, and they have some cool diving out there too. Chris Heinrich with Super Chat. Thanks, dude. Saying he's booking another trip to Whistler for next season. Any tips on combating jet lag? I had such low energy last time after flying from Oz. Yeah, I think it's harder coming back because when we went to Japan, I transitioned quite well. But then talking, at least with everybody else that's here, it was a lot harder to transition on the way back over this side. Tips. Do lots of exercise. I think try to exercise whenever you can, because that just kind of like helps your body turn over a bit better, and you know, you have a high energy, and then you feel tired. And kind of if you don't really do anything all day, then you kind of you're just kind of flatlining through the day. Yeah, it's toughie. Red's kept saying I'm dying, want to go back to Whistler and Vancouver. Come on back, bro. Gustav Velen saying watching from Sweden. Hur mår du? Allt bra. Hope you're doing well. Tack så mycket. I've been practicing. I haven't been practicing my Swedish, but I know a tiny bit of Swedish. Sa is 99 saying, "Hey Chris, what's up? First season over in Banff. Nice, dude. And landed my first frontside 180 today. Yeah, frontside 180 is that's a classic. Like, I think no matter what tricks you're doing, even if you're doing like double back 1080s, there's always something about doing like like styled out frontside or backside 180s. They're classics. So yeah, keep going with it, and yeah, the more you do, the more comfortable they get. So just keep going, keep practicing, keep playing around with them, and yeah, you'll be knocking them out all the time. Super pumped. Dan saying, "What's up? I'm in Niseko. Oh, no power for this week, dude." That's bad to hear. Did you have some last week? I think I was watching at least on some of Casey's that they had some good snow after we left. So I hope that at least you got some nice stuff in there. Colin Duff is saying he doesn't think the Nitro Cannon would fit in my car. I couldn't take anybody else, or I could take someone like behind me, but it would be like through the windshield almost. Maxwell is saying, "Hey Chris, I was wondering if you're going to be at Stevens Pass on Friday. I will be skipping school." Going up, dude. Sometimes snowboarders got to come in there, and it's nuts. I'll tell you, if I learned nothing, well, I learned a few things at Stevens Pass. So just a quick little talk. I'll just have a little chat about Stevens Pass. Yeah, I'm pretty much caught up with all the comments. We were staying at a cottage about 20 minutes east of Stevens Pass, and a lot of the people that go there, they come from the west, from Seattle. That's the big major hub is about, what is that, I don't know, 2 hours, maybe just under. And so traffic on a weekend, like during the week, it's not actually that busy because there's no actual like resort town around it, and there's no accommodation that I know of on the resort, and so people are always coming to go there, right? So there's a few towns to the east. There's Leavenworth, which is the Bavarian. It's like an Austrian, you can like Sound of Music style town. It's pretty interesting, and of course there's a few other towns around there. And then there's a few towns west, but then you have like the big towns, Bellingham, Seattle, a few other ones around there, and so a lot of traffic is coming from that side. So when we were going there, it'd be about 20 minutes. On the Saturday, we went there earlier, and apparently there were some issues coming from the Seattle side. So we actually went in, parked up pretty well, went out riding, met so many people. We met it was amazing. Like the thing about Washington is like everyone's not only like super like friendly and nice, but like really outgoing as well. And so yeah, just have people coming up all the time, like jumping out of their boards to give us hugs and take photos, and so that was really cool. The train was great. Found we had like some of the guys that worked there, and also some other like local guys that had some really good knowledge came out with us, so that we had about like 3 or 4 people in our group that knew the resort really well, and then like 1 or 2 that knew it quite well, and then us. So there was a big group around, but people were like always discussing like, should we go here and check this place out? And I know this spot. And so we got to really know the mountain very well, which was awesome. Found some cool like chutes we would have never found. Some like, infamous little like cliff drops that, we would have kind of guessed where they were. So that was amazing. And yeah, like just everybody, feeding off the stoke, man. There's so much stoke down there. Everybody's so excited. So especially that first day was awesome. The second day was definitely more of a hiccup. You'll see a bit more in the video after next. I'm doing a part 2 at the moment. I'm gonna hopefully get up for our first day, because the first day was just filled with so much awesomeness. And then on the second day, we got up late, and we were having issues with parking. I was having some equipment issues too, and it was still really like fun conditions. It was a Bluebird that day. So Bluebird's obviously awesome, but yeah, we definitely learned the parking. You gotta go early for the parking, because there's no like town nearby. So if you don't park in the resort, there's like I call it like a parking associated with a different like community thing a bit further away. The yodeling It's called the Yodelin Club or the Yodelin. And then further away from that, there's a Nordic Center, which is 5 miles away, and they do shuttles from that. But I think outside of that, and then once that's full, like you're hitchhiking from like 10 miles down on the highway or something. So yeah, like that was the thing we learned, like go early, because that's the first resort I've experienced the parking situation like that, which I don't want to distract away because the mountain is awesome. Like it's such a cool little mountain. It's almost like they've taken Whistler and just kind of like compressed it, so you still have like nice flat areas for beginners, lots of different types of terrain, from having like mellow trees near the bottom to having these insanely steep trees and chutes and cliff drops and backcountry, but it's just all a little bit close together. And then you have the backside, which is something that we don't do so much here in Whistler, because you have such a obvious front side to these mountains, and then it's literally like front side, and then they have chairs going down the backside. Whereas Whistler, it kind of like goes around the mountain more, so we don't actually really have the backside so much. We have like this curve, whereas they have like the front and the back. So that was cool. All right, yeah. So I like Stevens. I don't know, like I think people like Stevens. People say go to Baker as well. We're gonna get out to Baker, but definitely have a go at Stevens, and it's on the Epic Pass. Yeah, I did ride the T-Rice Pro. This is last year's one. I actually want to show you guys too. I'm probably seen it already, but it's got a bear like as the middle graphic, and I got one of David Jones's oof stickers from when we were in New Zealand together. So I got my bear saying oof, so pretty happy with that. I did like to keep that board sticker free for like the first year, but then I kind of got to the point where I was embracing the stickers on it, and especially out Japan with riding with all those dudes, I thought I should get some stickers. I just need to grab a snowboard program sticker from Kevin, because I've used all the ones I had on other stuff, and until I have stickers on that, minus the repair stickers I had on my Jones Storm Chaser after smashing the nose on it, I didn't have any stickers on any of my boards. So it's a little switch with the stickers, you know. Stickers are cool. Kier's out here, dude. Good to have you out here. He's saying he's got 3 weeks till his first trip. And I've got 3 weeks till my first trip, and I keep messing up my toe turn. Dude, what are you doing on that toe turn? Yeah, just try to keep it smooth. You gotta be thinking about, moving your body, trying to use your lower body, and not rushing it too much as well. Keeping that weight on your front foot, but keeping it loose, but on the front foot, because people generally lean back, and you got to have that weight forward to help initiate the turn. Adam's out here, dude. Adam, pleasure. Hayden saying you're gonna see a Sunshine Village. No plans for Sunshine Village. If there's something, is there anything I've been learning, like since learning about the different resorts around Washington, and I knew this already, but there's so many amazing small resorts. I feel like, and the small resorts are like the backbone of the whole ski industry. And then you have just these big resorts like Whistler and all the other big resorts, Bragg, Keystone. I don't want to leave any out, so I'll just stop saying them. Adam Harris, good to have you out here. What is going on? Keep looking down, and my stance is all wrong, but I'll keep trying. Back to the toe side turns. I think, one of the things you want to do with the toe side turn, it could be a lot of things, so I'm just guessing here, is that people do the toe side turn by sliding like down, like, they're facing down. So, So I can't quite show this in full, but I got my board across myself. I'm putting down the mountain, down the fall line, and then they slide down and then try to do the turn. Right? Really, what you want to do is try to transition towards moving across the hill, across the fall line. So you're starting on your heel side. If you're regular like me, with my left foot forward on this side, I want to try to get as much momentum going across the mountain, so my board is moving in the direction that the board is facing. Right? So my tail is pointed away from me. My nose is pointed in the direction I'm going, and then I start to do the turn then. Whereas if you're slip sliding down the mountain, then your nose and tail are pointed perpendicular it's perpendicular to your direction of travel. But you actually want your nose and tail to be pointed in the same direction your body and your board are moving. That just makes everything a little bit smoother. Maxwell, Dwynell, dude, yeah, taking day off school, dude. Yeah, we're not gonna be up there on Friday. We're back in Whistler now, so it was just a short trip down there. It was like a last minute Airbnb kind of thing. Literally, Kevin comes over the night before. Oh, hey man, how's it going? Like, oh, cool. And I was like still unpacking from Japan, and he's like, are you packing? I'm like, should I be? I'm unpacking. He's like, well, we're going tomorrow. So that's why we didn't go within that first day, and also we were looking at the snow. So yeah, Kevin and his wife Jill had a few days down at Stevens Pass before TJ and I cruised down there, and we got all the sweet pow. East Coast board life, saying he turned his sushi into the daily driver, and it will be the rockboard next year. It's the life cycle of the snowboard. You know, you get the new board and you treat it like you never want anything bad to ever happen to it, and then it starts getting a few dings and maybe like a big course shot eventually, and you get it repaired, and then it starts to look a little bit haggard, and then before you know it, it's your rock board and you've got a new shiny board, and that's the circle of life. Carrie Pierce is out here. Pleasure to have you out here, Carrie. Yeah, I was just thinking I should send you some more dot photos. Get my dog in some more stuff. I know Carrie's a big fan, and of course, how could you not be? She's so cute. Adam coming in with a super chat. Thanks, bro. Saying, are you going to be riding with Kevin in the next couple of days? I would think so. So it's Tuesday today. Yeah, I've got some stuff going on this weekend. But feeling pretty good. The body's feeling pretty good. I do have some editing to do, but I'm only like a couple videos behind. So yeah, want to get out and especially in these conditions, just work on maybe some getting back into the park and nailing some more puck stuff down. Because like, I'm getting to the point now too where like practicing things in the park and then trying to take stuff from that into the backcountry and into the more free ride areas. That's cool. I like doing that. I was surprised you and Chris was saying, surprised you and Kevin never rode the two-seater chairs. They're really common in Washington. Well, like, and even here in, where's I guess like the ones that they had in Whistler, they don't have them anymore. But it was more of, you're sitting there with your buddy, and then the bar comes down the middle, but then it like loops. It does that like hook, and it kind of braces across with like a coat hanger kind of shape. And so it was never that like, it's almost bare bones where you don't have anything over your, like those ones you'd still have, I think, a restraint bar. Whereas like these ones, it's basically, you have like half an inch holding you in from falling off the sides and the back. And I think, was it that bad? But then, and then the bar and then the pole, and it just comes like straight down, boom. It's very industrial looking. Colin saying, what's favorite North American mountain other than Whistler? So I've ridden the North Shore Mountains, which are super cool, but they're quite small. And then Revelstoke, which is an amazing mountain. I was super happy with Revelstoke, just not the snow conditions that we had out there. And Stevens Pass. I haven't really ridden much. I've ridden more European resorts. I grew up in Europe, so I probably have to give it to Stevens. No, Revelstoke. Yeah. I don't know. How can you choose a favorite resort other than Whistler? Because that's what I know inside and out. The only thing I don't like about Whistler is its consistency. It is not the most consistent of resorts. East Coast Born Life, getting those days up. Yeah, get out there when you can. I should have gone out today. We had a long day traveling. We just come back from Stevens Pass, and TJ and I in one car, Kevin and Jill, his wife in the other car, they basically headed straight back. we went into the Evo store in Seattle. We went, got some lunch at a nice little vegan cafe, and I went to Trader Joe's for the first time. That's cool, dude. If you guys are ever want to go to Trader Joe's, check it out. Basically, my brother and his fiance would go down to the States and then come up with all this cool like candy from Trader Joe's. And so in my head, I was just dreaming it was almost like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory meets a supermarket, which it is more traditional supermarket, but they do have some cool foods in there. So that was fun. And then picking up some other stuff. And, TJ introduced me to you get Amazon stuff sent to a Whole Foods, and then you pick it up from a Whole Foods, which is super cool. They don't have that in Canada. Ankrit Perik saying, hey Chris, do you think the GNU Finest with Flux Pro binding's too soft? I guess it just depends on your weight and how aggressive and what kind of terrain you're doing. Usually, like a lot of the questions, it's kind of based around where you're interested in going. If you want that more reactive and playful board, or if you want that kind of more cruisy and soft board, because I like the different boards for different occasions and different terrain, and just kind of how you're feeling with your day. If you're feeling a bit sore, or if you're ready to charge hard. So yeah, hopefully I'm sure you'll be able to figure it out. Jose Bautista is saying we need a Chris Ayres East Coast trip. I'll get sharpening the magnet traction and get out there. Yeah, it would be cool. It would be super cool to go out. The mountains, definitely. The snow conditions, maybe not so much, but the peoples and the food. Peoples and food with the mountains and the snowboarding almost being extra. But yeah, the peoples be cool. Richie Les saying, what do you think of the 2020 E-Jack knife? I like that board. It's so it's a LibTech. I think it's got a little bit of setback in the profile and the stance, and it's got that like more camber feel to it. So it's not as hybridized as this board back here. So it's gonna have a little bit more response, a little bit more pop. And Eric Jackson, it's his pro board. It's got the banjos and the salmon. I guess his three favorite things in the world: banjos, salmon, snowboarding, and growing a beard. Obviously, and he's got the other two, the snowboard and the beard. So he's got banjos and salmon on his snowboard, but he's shredding like Baker, I guess, normally, but he's going all over. But he's doing that big old mountain, trying to throw spins off of little like wedges, off little rock cliffs, and big drops, big spins, super stylish rider. So how can you not like that? East Coast Board Life saying he's thinking of grabbing Icon Pass, possibly take a late trip up north, weather depending. Yep, weather depending, dude. Burt saying, will there be more Japan videos? I was actually gonna do. I've been looking at it, which I'll get around to, which would kind of be like my top 5 Japan, plus maybe just like a couple of things that might be useful. But do you mean, are we getting back to Japan? We're going to Japan next week. I'm just kidding. No, we're not doing that. I think the next one is planning to go maybe down to Bear Mountain, down in California. So that'd be cool. Will J saying, will you ever travel the Powder Highway? The Powder Highway through Colorado area? I want to do some more riding, especially get down when TJ's down there, because he's got all his boys down there, and he knows Breck and Keystone pretty well, and so many good resorts. Well, yeah, Colorado, Utah, Wyoming, Idaho. Oh, dude, there's I don't want to leave any out. There's good resorts everywhere. Jose Bautista is saying, if you do Vermont, it's what? Dumping in Vermont? Dude, that's legit. I'm down with that. Osvaldo is here. Osvaldo, dude, how's it going? Pleasure to have you out here. Hopefully you've been shredding soon. Hopefully you are shredding soon. Hopefully you've been shredding recently. Yeah, hopefully everybody's been having some good times, and it'd be good to hear about, especially if you guys have been getting in some of these big dumps. I know in Colorado, like, I think like people want to be in Colorado now over Japan because like highways were getting closed. There was so much snow. It was just coming days and days and days. TJ showed me a video of his buddy where it's like armpit deep in powder for sections. So dude, that's full on. So yeah, hopefully you guys are getting some of that stuff. Here in Whistler, there's been some dusting, but it's pretty hard pack out there. It's Grimmer Park days right now. It's the next couple of days. Colin Duffy said he went to Sugarbush in Vermont, started January, and it was the opposite of the Vermont stereotype the entire week. Amazing. That's what I love to hear, especially breaking those stereotypes. That's good. Move.explore is going to Kicking Horse soon. That's the place I want to go to. Which ones are? Well, I mean, we did Revelstoke. In that whole like kind of from Banff down. I guess Revelstoke's like more out west. Banff on the east, and then going right down towards the American border, where you got Red Mountain down at the bottom. A lot of really cool resorts. I've heard Red Mountain, always people talk about that as some of the best steeps around, and then Kicking Horse has got insane steeps too. So yeah, that would be really cool. That's on the list. And then the other bonus to that is I don't need to get travel insurance because I have it already in Canada. So what I was saying is a super pig stiffer than the mountain pig. It's been a while since I felt them, but that is my understanding. Well, okay, to be fair, they didn't have the mountain pig at Comore, so I didn't get to feel it. But they had the war pig, the twin pig, the Psycho Candy, which Psycho Candy's the Berserker, which is Jake Blauvelt's pro model, and the Super Pig. I think the Super Pig was probably the stiffest overall. So yeah, I think so. Just the mountain pig's a little bit longer, relative, like the profile of it is not quite as volume reduced. I'd go the Super Pig stiffer. I think so. Nathan Will saying you should do a trip to Baker. Baker is on the list. So yeah, Mount Baker is the mountain that we always see from Vancouver. It's this huge mountain. They're actually doing the what's it called? The Super Banked Slalom competition this weekend. I got the name. I'm probably butchering it, and I'm sorry if that's your thing and you're there and you organize it. But it's like a infamous snowboard race that goes on every year. That has been going on for many, many years, and it just happened this weekend. But yeah, they have a huge mountain there, loads of stuff I like to ride, and lots of backcountry, lots and lots of backcountry around there. And been taught a few fans out there, Snow White, but others as well. And they've invited us down to go and show us around that area, which would be really cool. And maybe Nathan too, if you did. I apologize already if I forgot. Elias Novoa said, "Hey Chris, have you ever gone to Big White? And it was cool meeting you on Saturday." Oh, cool, man. Yeah, pleasure. Yeah, we met a lot of people that day, and it's hard remembering everybody's names. But yeah, it was such a fun day out there. It was awesome. Big White. No, I've been to Big White, but I was like 4, so maybe I was 5. Else I could say, come down to Boise, Idaho, bro. Come do Bogus Basin, right? I was just talking to an old friend, and he is living in Sun Valley Resort, which is also in Idaho. I need to look at the distance between the two of those. Do you know how far is Sun Valley from? Is it Sun Valley? I think it's Sun Valley. Elstacker, you know. You can hopefully tell me. Oh, okay. Van Island Surf, St. Powder Highway. Oh, okay. Powder Highway, BC. Rosewood, Kicking Horse, Fernie, Red Mountain, Whitewater, Word, and then yeah, Golden and Rossland. There's a lot, dude. There's a lot of good mountains out there. Like all of those are good. I think the only one that I wouldn't be as I won't even. It's not even on that list. So don't worry if you thought it was on that list, because I want to go to all of those. But yeah, there's so many mountains. Awesome mountains around. And there's a Powder Mountain in Utah. Oh, we were actually just talking the Roxy girls. We met these lovely snowboard professional girls, which, snowboard girls are just instantly cooler and more interesting because they also snowboard. And they were telling us to go there as well. So that stakes out. We got to go to Powder Mountain in Utah. It's supposed to be really, really good. Carrie Pierce coming to the super chat. Thanks so much. And she says hashtag Japan 2021 fund. You guys made it look so fun in Niseko. I'm about to venture further north next time. Yeah, so Carrie was in Hakuba, which is on the main island in the north, which I've heard you fly to Tokyo and then you get like the bullet train, presumably, but you can get there via train. Whereas we were in Hokkaido, which is an island. Sapporo is the name of the island. Hokkaido is the area. Niseko is the resort. But we were on a different island to the north, and it was super nice there. The only thing I really know about that is that, because I'm not a master on Japan for sure. It's my first time ever going. But the guys, they did Hakuba the first year, they did Niseko the second year, and they preferred Niseko, and that's why they went back on the third year to Niseko. But who knows where we'll be next time. There's a lot of really nice resorts. So many resorts around everywhere. Too many resorts. Why can't there just be a few good resorts? Julian FSG696 coming in with a 99 all the nines super chat. Thanks, dude. Saying a big thank you. And I believe I can ride switch. That was wasn't that a parody to like? I'm glad that kind of dropped off. Was it? Oh no, it was R. Kelly. Yeah, R. Kelly didn't really last too well in the time, but yeah, that was I Believe I Can Fly, but I Believe I Can Ride Switch song in one of the old Snowboard Program videos that he said he wasn't going to put in, but he did. So if you haven't seen that one's a fun one for sure. Colin Duffy, I was talking to Jose Bautista, saying he lives outside Philly in Jersey, so I have to take the turnpike all the way up. It takes 8 hours to get to Vermont. Yeah, we're a little notified about me. I was born in Jersey, so I'm a Jersey boy. I'm like Frankie Valley, basically. No, I was born in Morristown. Yeah, I was born in Morristown, and then I lived in the Mountain Lakes, which is to the north, but then I moved when I was like 14 months, so I couldn't talk, basically. Will J's asking the Powder Highway. The Powder Highway is an area of highway in British Columbia, Canada, where there's just lots of really good resorts along it. And so you have Revelstoke, Kicking Horse, Fernie, Rossland, Red Mountain. You have all these really big mountain resorts, huge resorts, great, great for families, but also great if you want to have that more extreme type of riding as well. And kind of that, one of those areas that you have to go and visit. Osvaldo, coming to the super chat, dude. Thanks so much. He's saying, did you see the epic lines at Vail? I saw a video. It's insane. Yeah, I didn't try last weekend because the highway was shut down. People don't know how to drive in the snow over here. Yeah, people don't know how to drive in the snow everywhere. So I think that's just like there's some weird stuff going on in Japan, and I thought the Japanese would be like super safe drivers all the time. Not all of them were, but yeah, we've seen some interesting driving almost everywhere we've been. Yeah, the Vail Resort. There's a couple I've seen, but the one that I quite liked is where there's a view from the gondola. So it's someone's in the gondola filming the line, but they're filming the base of the gondola. And so you just see this line kind of going like out of shot. And as the gondola moves further and further away from the base, you see the line just continuing to grow bigger and bigger and bigger. And it just keeps going. And it's like 8 to 10 people wide and like a couple thousand people like long. Like it is, it's a joke. I heard people were waiting in there for way too long. Like something's got to be done about that for sure. That was just insane. That was one of those ones where you feel bad for the people, super happy you're not there, but then also thinking like the resort's got to figure something out because that was just ridiculous. Hetty Full Match saying, when you going to be a baker? Dude, if I knew, I would tell you. I don't. Sorry. Effective Edge, throwing a super chat. Thank you so much. So, what is the origin of your dog's name, Dot? Thanks for all the great content. Well, thanks for all watching all the videos and leaving a like and leaving a message. You know, if you guys aren't aware of how YouTube works, it does definitely help if you guys like and comment. Try to share the videos. You know, all that stuff really, really helps the channel to grow. So if you are unable to like help monetarily, which is totally fine, even just leaving a comment or a like really, really helps the channel. So I appreciate all of that love. And in the case of Effective Edge, doing all of the above, like super thankful for that. And the origin of my dog's name Dot, is not anything exciting at all. So she, but just a tiny bit of history about her. She was abandoned outside of a rescue center. So they found her there in the morning when she was somewhere between 6 and 9 months. So there's no history on her. Like her past is a mystery before I got her, minus the like week she was in the rescue center, and then they called her Dot. Her name was Dot. She didn't look like when I saw her. I was like, why would you call this dog Dot? It's like she just doesn't look like a dot. I don't know. I would say, you know, a dot like that has like a big spot on the eye or on the face, or was it Dalmatian or something? And she just totally didn't seem like a dot, and that's kind of why I decided to keep the name. Bertman, I thought so. Bertman saying, oh, Hokkaido is the area, Sapporo is the city. I was getting those two mixed around. I thought Sapporo might be, I guess Sapporo too, you know, there's Sapporo beer. If you guys are legally over the age to drink in your particular countries and you never had Sapporo before, go try it. It's good. It's a nice, like light, dry Japanese beer. I like Sapporo. It's good. Tim Lee, coming out with super chat, pleasure, man. He said, how often do you tune your snowboard, stone grind base, machine edge, sharpening, machine hot wax? Is it recommendable? So 2 boards I got at the moment. I got the Storm Chaser and the TRS Pro. And then trying out a few other boards from other people or rentals as well. And so obviously those, if they're rental ones, especially, you know, in the case where you're getting quite a premium board from a place that doesn't do as many. So like they had the demos at Comor and Whistler, and tried the Tranny Finder from Career Shapes, beautiful board. The Gentum Stick XY, I mean, of course, that's a beautiful board. And the finishing on those were amazing. My own finishing, normally I have been doing more waxing, so I've been probably averaging, trying to wax my boards every 5 days, which I think is pretty good. You know, it's within the range that the truists would say, like every 3 to 5 days, or however, I know it does vary, but more recently I've been trying to wax them as much as possible. And then the edges, that's more just a kind of case-by-case feel where I'll see how the edges are doing. Depending on what type of terrain I've been riding, I'm usually able to tell if I've done some damage to the edges, and then I'll go and have a look at it and kind of give it an overall, but also working on the individual sections. But of course, when you start dealing with magnet traction is where you have a wavy edge going down it. On more traditional boards, it's a curved edge, but this is like a wavy curve. And so you can't just get a standard kind of file or edge sharpening tool, because those are more flat and kind of, you know, big, whereas here you need a very precise tools that actually work with the curves. And so it's not as easy for sure to do that. How much would you recommend it doing? If you can do it at home, that's great. If you can't, the great thing about having it done professionally, it's super easy. They do it faster. They are probably, hopefully, going to do it to a better level than you would do it to. You would hope so. And so you know you're going to be getting your gear looked after, so it's going to last longer, plus it's going to ride faster, and it's going to be more responsive as well. Engine, pleasure is coming up with the super chat again. Yeah, saying Europe Fund. You're slowly getting that Europe Fund up. I think Engen's about the only guy that's hashtagging Europe Fund, but he's sending super chats every time I do a live stream. So it's that Europe Fund's building. And he's saying, love the sweater. Yeah, it's the Volcom. It's nice. It also has the old like extra. So I think it's a mustache coverer. right? You want to keep your mustache warm? You just do that. And you never get a cold mustache. For your ladies out there, you guys that haven't yet grown a full mustache, that's one of your biggest concerns when you're out riding with your mustache. Colin Duffy said, "When is the Patreon content coming out?" Yeah, dude, I'm gonna get I did set up a Patreon just the end of last month. It was basically in the last couple of days. I was in Japan, and Patreon is a subscription service where you would pay into it with real money from a card, and it's a way to help support myself or other creators out there, be it Kevin and TJ obviously have theirs, but then it can be, they have everything on there. They have music sites, basically anything you can think of. There's somebody doing something out there where they're using, like group funding from everyday people like you guys to help fund their content. And I have started the account, but I haven't put anything up yet. And so at the moment, you're more just supporting me doing these types. Well, maybe not a live chat per se, but just be able to do the other snowboard videos. But I do plan on getting some content up there. But we've had like so many travel days. We've been traveling, getting over the jet lag, riding in Stevens. It's hard. But I guess I just start with probably go with more, like smaller videos and things like that, and putting up things on there that I'm not going to be putting up on YouTube, or I might give it like in advance. So give you guys the exclusives. But yes, maybe some more, not to say I ever do anything that's not family friendly, but if something's maybe on the border, then I can put it up on Patreon, and you guys have a better idea what you're going into, rather than just the like open web kind of thing that YouTube is. And so if you want to see more wackiness, more craziness, not yet, but coming soon, go over to the Patreon. My Patreon is Chris.snowboarding. Chris is snowboarding with dots, just like my dot. And yeah, that's another way to help support the channel, which is definitely appreciated. Yeah, it's been also getting lots of new subscribers, lots of new views, lots of old homies still hanging around, and getting to meet more and more people. Especially as Kevin gets more noticeable too. Like, he's in a bright banana suit. You see his videos? He's yellow toe to tip, and he gets noticed a lot. And so we can be out, and there's just people coming up like every time we stop, which is amazing, but also slows us down when we want to be riding. Sometimes, we always want to meet people, but there's sometimes where there's like people that we're meeting for like an hour, and your muscles are like, come on, let's go do something. But yeah, I appreciate that, Colin, and I will get some stuff out on Patreon soon. Monkey with Baker saying, "Come out to Bachelor already." All right. Come out to Bachelor. I want to go out to Bachelor. There's actually a guy riding the Solomon. They don't call it the Bachelor. What do they call it? Oh, the Super 8. But that has a map of Mount Bachelor, and it's beautiful board. Nice little setback camber with a big rockered out nose. Stunning tail. And that reminded me, get to Bachelor. Mount Bachelor is down in Oregon. It's north of Mount Hood. The mountains around there are quite cool because you kind of have these flatter areas with these like basically volcano. I guess Bachelor is a volcano too, but Mount Hood's a big volcano. Bachelor's got to be a volcano. And then Mount St. Helens was one of those volcanoes that did erupt to quite devastating consequences back in like 93 and 95 or somewhere around there. But you have these like flat areas, which is these massive volcanoes, and a couple smaller ones. But it's not like out here, whereas ranges, just mountains and mountains, it's flat with these huge volcanoes. And so on Bachelor, you can the resort's in one section, one little chunk of the pie, or a big chunk of the pie. But then a lot of it that isn't in resort, you can go ride. You basically ride up to the very peak of the mountain, and then you can ride down any which direction you want to. And there's a catch like road. There's a road that goes all the way around, that no matter where you finish on this road, and then you go back to the starting point And so really cool mountain. Sounds awesome. I want to go and check it out for sure. Yeah, Jose Ortiz talking about the wax. Yeah, it's you kind of get a feel for the wax. Um, I think you especially get a feel for it when you do like wax it. I think for me it was partly the feel of it being slow, but then the feel that when you do wax it, how much faster it is. Because it's slowing down, it's degrading over time, and then you wax it and it's like boom! It's just like way faster overnight. And so especially if you're riding with a friend that didn't wax his board, and he's going a bit faster than you the first day, and then you wax it, and then you're shooting past him. It's pretty concrete evidence there in my book. Muldo, dude, pleasure having you out here. He's saying 270 week and 130 overnight. Oh my lord, 1.30 m overnight in Seki. Where's Seki? Seki, maybe worth a visit, maybe. Dude, if you you had 4 feet, over 4 feet overnight, 1.30 m. That's insane, dude. Chris Heinrich, coming to the super chat. Thank you so much, Chris. Chris checking in from Australia. I got a pleasure to meet him last year, coming out, which is really cool. And he also helped develop the Snowboard Pro Camp website. So I should get you to help develop my website, Chris. What do you think? Saying hashtag, I don't want to be left out of the Europe fund. Thanks, man. Yeah, there's a lot of, it's kind of hard, like, because, Kevin's channel is doing very well, and my channel is quite small, so I have to kind of pick and choose which trips I go on, because he can afford a lot more trips than me. But then on the flip side, going out with him helps make the trips cheaper, because sometimes we get comp tickets for certain mountains and stuff like that, so it goes both ways, but I do have to pick and choose, so hence why I went to Japan, because I was like, I gotta get out to Japan. Japan was the ending of a lot of things going on kind of with my life and injuries. I hurt my knee just before the first Japan trip that they went on 3 years ago, and so being able to finally come on this one was definitely good for my mental state. Yeah, where's Seki? Where is that? Moldo saying Europe fun as long as it's not France. When I grew up going to Les Arcs, Les Arcs. This is my French accent. Je peux parler un peu français, mais it was a resort that I used to go to with my family growing up. I grew up in England, and we would drive there. And I would be the kid where you had a station wagon where all the seats point forwards. It was like an old Mercedes. Well, the seats point forwards, but they have like that row at the very back that points backwards. So you can like fit two, be like usually me and my friend riding in the very back of the car, looking like straight out the back window. And so when we would go to Europe, I would be looking straight out the back window with a pile of suitcases next to me, so I couldn't move. And then all my family at the front and just having a blast and laughing away. And I'm like, what did you say? What did you say about me? Did you guys buy me any food? So that was fun, going to France, doing that. No, it was cool. Wayne McKenzie with the super chat. Thank you, Wayne, dude, pleasure. And he has a is that an eggplant? No, it's like a pear. I'm thinking it's not an eggplant. Eggplants are purple. But anyway, it's got the keep it up sticker. Thanks, Wayne, pleasure. And glad that you came on to check out the chat and all the videos and all of that. Thank you. Ellis Lloyd Jones saying, repping from Wales. Sweet, dude. Yeah, I grew up in Manchester, so I've been had a few caravan trips out to Portmadoc, and of course geography field trips out to Llandudno and Mount Snowdon, mostly up in the north of Wales. I haven't done so much down in the south. I did, and then some mountain biking as well in Nantwar Quarry. I did 1 year doing the Northern Area Mountain Bike Series, which has a lot of their races in Wales, which is, Wales mountain biking is gnarly. guys. It's proper nuts. El Stacker repping the waxing. Of course, dude. Got a wax. Danny Carroll saying, bro, Stevens is my local resort, and it's dope to see this. Yeah, dude, Stevens was awesome. You guys should definitely check out Stevens. It's old. It's got that snow culture. And yeah, you can stay in Leavenworth, which is this Bavarian town. The whole town, I guess I had like, I was chatting to a friend that grew up around there, and he was saying that they did it in like the 80s, but the whole planning permission, the whole town setup is, it has to look Bavarian. So it literally looks like you're in a Bavarian traditional, the Sound of Music style town. And it's it's really funny, but then also bizarre when you go in and you eat like Mongolian stir fry. You know, like you would expect like, oh, this is the chocolatier, and you know, this is the place that sells big horns and bells. I don't know. I don't want to get into Bavarian stereotypes because I don't know any. But then it would be more like the Mexican place and the stir fry place, which are delicious. At least the stir fry place was. But it kind of looks at odds with a very Bavarian outerwork. But overall, the town is super interesting and a lot bigger than I thought too. So yeah, go check it out. And Stevens is an awesome resort. The only thing with Stevens is go in the week if you can, go to Stevens, and if you can't, I think you have to get to parking if it's going to be a good like powder day or like a really nice day. Some of the locals are saying they get there at 7. One other guy, Sir London, that we met in Whistler, that I wasn't able to meet up with there, he said he tries to get there at 8. We got there at like 8:15 on the first day and like 9 on the second day, and second day was bad for parking. Cat my man Snow saying, what's up? Who ma do allt bra? Cat my man. I hope you're doing well, dude. Yeah, Cat my man's hooking up like El Stacker with some homemade wax he made, which is super cool. So keep making that wax, Cat my man, and keep shredding and having a good time in Svenska. Chris Heinrich said he'd be down to help with the website. Shoot me a DM if you're keen. To be honest, I'm not super keen. I think that might be something I do more like after the season's finished. There's so many things going on at the moment. It would be good to do though. I'd have to see more the actual traffic I would get directly from that, although it does help with a lot of the overall branding that is now Chris Ayres International Cologne coming out soon. But yeah, I'd like to work on that. When will Chris have his own merch? Dude, what's my thing gonna be? Maybe like, you know, Kevin for Snowboard Pro Camp has the guy, he's doing an indie grab, I think, or a meat grab. And that's his stickers, that like silhouette of a boarder with his arm up, reaching down to grab his board. I could maybe have a guy doing like the pizza roll, like roll out, like upside down on his back, like rolling around to get out the powder. That could work. Or maybe just a sticker that says like, roll it out like pizza dough. I don't know. And Jen is saying, super chat, thank you, my dude. If you ever end up in Europe, bring Andreas. I'll get the extra weight allowance and stick him in my bag. I mean, that weight allowance is only like 23 kilos. So anybody minus someone, a small child, which I'm going to end that conversation right there. But yeah, I would love to get Andreas out to Europe. He loved Japan so much. It's crazy how much he loved there. So as long as we take him to some trees, Andreas will be happy. Chris Heinrich saying, all good, dude. I would think my technical skills will stick around for a while. Good. And I don't think you're not organizing newspapers. You know, as far as I see it, people are still going to be looking at websites, at least for the next few months. Bert's giving the thumbs up on the pizza roll. Props, yeah. Might as well go with the pizza roll, or I guess that's kind of one of my catchphrases, pizza roll. Jose Bautista with the super chat saying you should get a PayPal because Tube takes a percentage. I know, dude. When will you put my epic upside down tree grind? Oh, yes. Yes. So, just to mention, we were about that. When we were in Japan, we were riding some of the trees in Hanazono, and Jose was with us. And it was Jose and Hamish, who's one of the local guys that works there, that was showing us around. TJ, myself, and I think someone else was riding with us in that little group that we had. And I went down to take video of everybody riding kind of through this like nice little tight tree area, and TJ comes flying through and throwing up snow. And and Bo was there. Bo comes riding down, cruises through, and then Jose comes down, has a fall, and then I see him like upside down with his board, like a tree between his board, like kind of sliding down it into the snow. So I have that video. I have it even in a slow mo, so I'll make sure I get that up on a Instagram post soon, so you can see that. PayPal. I have PayPal, and I can't remember my PayPal, but I think it might just be Chris .Ayres, EYRES. But I should get that. I'll start putting that maybe in the description. I know Ryan Napton has like a tip jar thing where he has different methods, and lots of other YouTubers of different ilk have that type of stuff that they put on there. So yeah, maybe I'll just put it down so people can see it, and if they want to use it, then that's awesome. I did have it in a couple of my videos before I went to Japan, but not, or maybe it was in my last live chat I had it afterwards. But anyway, yeah, I can't remember the name of it. I do have PayPal. PayPal is probably the method where the business takes the least amount of money, and then of those, YouTube is probably the one where it takes the most. But yeah, I do have the Patreon as well. Or you just send a giant suitcase in the mail full of cash. Chris Heinrich saying thumbs up for the pizza roll stickers. Yeah, okay. I'll get thinking on some kind of pizza roll related sticker I could do. Sweet. And other stuff that I wanted to mention. I know I did the other live chats in Japan. I guess looking back on Japan now, the kind of overview of the trip, it's obviously a lot easier when you're going. It's different when you're going with a big group, but it's easier when you're going with people that have been there already, and especially when you're organizing it. When I've done a lot of my traveling before, I did quite a lot of traveling around Asia, and in Elstacker Adventures, just got a video up. Dude, after you finish with this, go watch Elstacker Adventures movie. But I would do a lot of like just kind of winging it myself, and a lot of backpacking and things like that. And so I'd be responsible for all of that myself, and that was, you know, kind of cool where you're in that mentality. And this trip, I was in the total mentality of like the backseat traveler. Like everything was almost being organized for me, and I just kind of went with the flow. And so that was actually very easy, of course. But then it was just a little bit different on the mountain and going out and riding around. But I felt like we're doing lots of different resorts, and each resort we were doing was like new and interesting and fun. So definitely, even if the conditions are really good somewhere, just to have that feel of a different resort, because no matter how good the conditions get, there's always something about a new resort. Like just going to a new resort you've never been to for the first time. So that was a really cool thing about Japan, because you have quite a few in certain areas, especially more so than we have, because here in Whistler we have one of the biggest resorts in the world right here, but then not much like directly next to us, which is part of the reason, because we don't need to, because we have such a ginormous resort. So so that kind of plays into that. But yeah, like, I don't know, the point I was getting to there is try new resorts, because there's so many cool ones. But then the actual resort of Niseko, Japan itself, it wasn't as Japanese as I thought it was going to be. It was definitely it's like a westernized Japan. It's like Whistler is Canadian. Japan is, and Niseko is Japanese. I'd say that's pretty fair. You know, we were on the food trucks, and there's like no Japanese food at any of the food trucks. Even a lot of the Japanese, we went to one place for veggie sushi, and I don't think they understood veggie sushi. The other guy's sushi looked great, but then we did go to the Sky. Oh no, is it called the Sky Sky Bar. I'm totally messing this, but it's in Hamish's hotel that he worked at, and the Japanese food there was amazing. So yeah, I guess it depends where you go. And then just going out and meeting lots of people. I think like, and especially if you're going out, and for you guys, maybe going out is trying to do like what Jose Stacker and Chuck did. Not necessarily coming and joining us on a trip, which, you know, you're definitely more than welcome to do, but just trying to like bond within the community and find other people that are interested in going to the same place as you are. And then going together with them and making sure that, you know, you always have a buddy with you when you're riding and somebody to learn with, and you gotta make new friends, which is always awesome. All right. And Jen is saying, all hail to the trip masters, Narav and Yannick. Dude, they deserve a serious pats on the back. Yeah, Yannick and Narav are the twins that you see in like all of our Japan trips, and they took sabbaticals last year and went out with Kevin and TJ to like Europe, South America, Colorado, Revelstoke. They didn't do New Zealand or Australia. They did a lot, basically. Yeah, Jackson Hole, and they're really good at organizing stuff. So they're like the guys behind the scenes doing all the work, so that we can just film things, edit things, and then eat food. And then we don't have to do anything else apart from those three things. And that's all you need to do to have a YouTube snowboard channel. Ride, edit, and eat, and sleep occasionally. Ellis Lloyd Jones saying, I'm English. I'm half English. I'm from all over. But my mom's side of my family is relocated Canadian Dutch. And then my dad's side of my family is English. So, yeah. And I was born in New Jersey. So, I am a man of fingers and lots of pies. Else, like I said, the twins are awesome. Dude, your twins are awesome. Seki is in Japan. It did sound Japanese. Said Seki's too small family-owned resort. It has its own microclimate, so it gets the most snow of all Japan. Highly recommend Nozawa, a very traditional village to base from old, just north of Nagano. Nice. Isn't that, what's the place that is quite a famous place that's like, begins with K, and it's an onsen? It's like something on, like the town is called something Onsen. And it has a very traditional town with a cool onsen and also a very good resort, where the resort's like 10, 15 minutes away from the town, so they're very close, but they're not right at the very bottom. Antonio Montana saying, I'm up about Baker, only a few hours from you. You should check it out, dude. You're late to the party, dude. Baker's, we've been talking about Baker all the chat. I want to get a Baker. Baker would be awesome. I see it down there taunting me from when I'm in Vancouver. We get a beautiful view of Baker from Vancouver, especially because all the other little hills are kind of hills. Everything else is kind of small, and then there's just a massive mountain sticking out. So, yeah, that's really cool. And I'm going to get to Baker soon, for sure. Kaz, very late to your chat. What did I miss? I'll try to sum it up for you in 5 words. Japan, Stevens, traveling, dog, powder. You missed those things. So we'll try to get it around the world and back again. Oh, yes, Moldo is saying it's Nozawa Onsen. Or there's a Kurosawa Onsen. It wasn't Seki Onsen. I think it was Nozawa Onsen. That's supposed to be cool. Van Island Surf saying, I would be interested in a video on the costs associated with Japan trip, airfare, transportation, accommodation, food, lift tickets. Yes, that would be definitely good. I think too, doing one maybe, because the airfare is obviously going to depend where you're traveling from, but then, so that's, I mean, you could be traveling to Japan from China or Kamchatka. Well, maybe not Kamchatka, but anyway, you can travel from quite nearby, or you can travel from around the world. But then I guess once you're there, it's more about ways in which you can spend or save money, and make the most out of your experience. It's definitely a good idea for a video for sure. So I will think about that. Moldo is saying most places in Japan are called something onsen. True. There's a lot of onsens around. Joe Catrona Jr., have I ever tried a backflip? I have tried a backflip, not in a while. We tried some tame dogs, some front flips, like cartwheel, like front flips off the nose last year. But since I did my knee, I haven't tried any since then. But I would like to try a wildcat into powder. Very, very deep powder. And maybe just trim my, it's all about the force on the knees. So if I can minimize the force, get in a little tighter shape and get a real powder day, then try some backflips. That would be cool. All right. Yeah, Elstek is gonna do a backflip, dude. And then, I need to get on an inflatable doodah hickey giant whoopee cushion airbag. That's the one. I think you practice it in an airbag with all your gear on. You got your snowboard on as well. I mean, we were going to the trampoline center when they had one here in Whistler, but that is now gone. And I think the airbag would be the best way to try out getting inverted. Oh, who's that? Kevin and Jill are here. Uh-oh. Snowboard Pro Camp in the house. Whoa. It's game time. That's the silliest I've sounded all live stream, so I'm just trying to mess with them. All right. I think I should. I've been on here an hour, 22 minutes already, so I was going to go soon. Maybe I'll just show Kevin's face for seconds just to embarrass him, and then I'll end the live stream right then. I don't even want him to talk. I just want to show his face. No, he could come and talk. We can talk about 5 minutes about Stevens Pass.
No.
Oh, okay, not about Stevens Pass. About Stevens Pass? Do you want to jump on the other side there? Home slash. So we'll just do a quick. Like I've been on here for a while, Ski, and I know you guys love like 3-hour live chats. So I'm sure nothing would make you more happy. But I'm gonna jump off soon. But yeah, if you guys have any questions about Stevens Pass, quickly we'll throw them out there. But dude, good day.
Oh yeah.
Nice. And we go through like a variety of topics, as you would guess. Things related to Japan, things related to Stevens Pass. It's more topically about Stevens Pass. What was the thing that surprised, or a couple things that surprised you the most? Because I'm talking about the steep trees.
Yeah.
We found some cool shoots.
Yeah.
The trees, I think. Okay, well, I don't give away. I already gave it away just then. But then also like powder, and then you guys did a bit more exploring, and then we did too. But my goggles exploded, which I haven't got into yet. But yeah, what was the things that you didn't expect to be quite as they were?
The Stevens Pass, it was much steeper than I was expecting. It was like a really steep. There's a section of the resort that was very steep, so that was a surprise. And
the double diamond.
Yeah, the double diamond trees.
That was like gnarly.
Wait,
have you been on steeper trees than those trees?
Those are like up there with some of the steepest trees for sure. Yeah, very steep trees.
Because like here in Whistler, we got loads of trees, but normally if it's that steep, it might be a bit more spaced out and just tippy tops.
Yeah.
But there it was like jam packed and also ultra steep.
Yeah, and so it was like, and the trees are a bit different. They're different from up here in Whistler. They were kind of like skinnier, maybe pine trees. I can't quite remember, but they were like skinny trees, tall, and very steep. So that was cool. It was different. It was like totally different. So coming from snowboarding in Japan, where they had like a different kind of tree too, the deciduous trees. There in Stevens Pass, it was the very like evergreen style. So It was really cool. It was really different. It was
almost like, so you have the non-leafy trees in Japan, And
Yeah.
then here they were like, it was also the type of snow that it looked like someone like dipped a tree in like liquid nitrogen.
Yeah.
Where it was like just like caked. You could see the pines, the needles, but they were like the whole thing was just like in places caked in like liquid nitrogen. Or when you see like a 2012 like apocalyptic movie where the ice storm comes through, they look like those trees.
Yeah, it's very caked. Yeah, there's like a storm. Yeah, it had been snowing there all week, so there was a lot of snow. We should get Jill to come say hello. Jill, come say hello for a second. Everyone's asking about
And
you.
Jen saying, "Bring Jill." And Jen's bored of Kev.
I know Stacker says he's been watching Candace's ASMR videos. Awesome.
Yeah. So Kevin's sister, Candace Pierce. It's Candace spelled with an S and Pierce spelled with an A.
EA. Jill, come say hi.
And she's been doing a lot of tea videos and hiking and other stuff around BC. So yeah, that's been cool.
And check out El Stacker's videos.
I already did that. One of his premiered when I was doing the live chat. So yeah, go check out El Stacker's video. El Stacker was out with us in Japan, and Kevin, get out of here. Or Jill, join at the back. Jill, you're in Stevens Pass.
Hey guys, how's it going? Where am I looking?
Right there.
Right there. Okay.
At the bottom.
Oh,
Okay.
So Jill, a question I have for you: if you're doing more, not quite like the double black diamond runs, but you're doing more blues and blacks.
Yeah.
And a more varied terrain of an intermediate to like area. How did that terrain in Stevens suit your needs?
There was there was like a lot of options. Like you could go down like for a few different chairs, you could go down like either direction. There was like some easier, more kind of space, like wider runs.
Did you get bored of it?
No, not at all. Like I
Okay.
thought it was beautiful. I thought the snow was really good.
And what about getting around the mountain? Because I know I've been in resorts before where I end up doing like the same run, like maybe a section of the end of it or something, like 4 times in a day. And I'm like, I'm back on this part of the run again. Or like you find it harder navigating around the mountain. Was it all pretty straightforward?
No, it was pretty straightforward, but I didn't feel like I was getting bored either because there was like from the top you could go down a lot of different ways. So there was like
Oh, the happy couple. Oh, okay, Jill's happy.
so no, I really liked it because I could the day that you guys were riding on your own doing the double blacks and stuff, like I felt like was totally confident going around by myself after being there for a couple of days.
Nice.
So I felt like I got the hang of it. It was easy to learn the mountain, but there was also like a lot to explore. So it was
So good for riders. That's what I thought. It was like a Whistler but shrunk, in that it had good stuff for people that had never snowboarded to people that were experts.
definitely there was lots of terrain for me.
Cool.
Yeah,
Chris
it was really
Henrik
good.
says hello, and then
Hi,
Jen.
Chris Henrik. Hey guys.
All right, I'm gonna shut this live stream off.
See ya.
These guys,
Bye,
these guys have had a busy
Bye.
day.
Nice to see you.
See you later. All right, I'll just say some goodbyes and then we'll be getting out of here. Yeah, and Jen says it's the woman behind the man.
That's good,
Who is it?
okay.
What's that quote where someone says that?
Every strong man is a strong woman.
Exactly, but I didn't know who that was. Cool. Well, thank you guys so much for coming out. If you guys have made it this far, then you are amazing because you could have seen half of The Irishman in the time that I've been doing this. or most 90-minute movies, because that's how long I've been here. So yeah, pleasure to have you guys out. I'll be putting out a couple of Stevens Pass videos, and then we'll be doing some Whistler videos. And there's definitely a lot of more tailored videos that I would like to do, but I'm kind of having a lot of fun just going out and pushing my riding and kind of doing more vloggy ones. But yeah, doing more ones specifically about how to be a ginger and ride in snowboarding, or how to control your speed when you're going fast, or how to get out of powder when you fall in awkward positions. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. Definitely go check out my Patreon page if you haven't already. Jill's there laughing at the back. Great. Jill, you like the laugh track. Keep it up.
Can't laugh, drive the can laugh.
She's the real laugh. It's not a fake. It's real. She's there. I could grab her.
Kevin just flinched because I laughed. I cackled in his ear.
Yeah. Kevin will flinch if you cackle in his ear. It's true. Yeah, so go check out Patreon if you guys want to do that. On Instagram at chris.is.snowboarding, and same with my Patreon name. Yeah, that's right. And I'll throw down the PayPal, so Jose or whoever else, or no pressure on Jose, but yeah, if you, as another option, if you guys want to help support the channel, because that all really helps for sure. You guys are the reason that I can do this, and of course all the fantastic, amazing advertisers that use YouTube. If you're the CEO of Coca-Cola watching this, keep sponsoring YouTube adverts, Mr. Coca-Cola. No, but it's all of you guys that make this thing work. So again, thanks out to you guys. And yeah, over psyched, bro. Super psyched, over stoked at the moment. And yeah, hopefully see you guys soon. Get that video out, and maybe see you on a live chat soon. Thanks for checking in. Catch you on the flip chat.